All right. Hey, good afternoon. I'm 5 News Chief Meteorologist Matt Standridge. We're still watching these strong thunderstorms pushing to eastern Oklahoma. You're looking live in Bacola, where we still have some gusty winds and some rain. You see those flashes of lightning too. Boy, it's been loud for us in Sequoia County and Flora County. This is live looking Flora, looking towards Sequoia. What you're looking in the distance is just this curtain of water that's just continuing to slam us in eastern Oklahoma. I want to take you to the radar this evening. Overall, we are watching these thunderstorms slowly push westbound in some territory that we hadn't necessarily have gotten all the rain yet, but we're still getting the rain in Podo, especially north side of town. But these storms will probably still fire up back towards the west. What you kind of look at are these other little pop-ups to kind of give you an indicator where you're going to see more storms fire up and which direction they're going to head in. But we're watching 2 severe thunderstorm warnings in Sequoia County, but over time this cluster, and I mean it's been a messy cluster all afternoon, this is slowly going to probably move westbound, filling more into Haskell County, Latimer County, and back west towards McAllister and Lake Eufaula. But the 2 severe thunderstorm warnings that we have right now are in Sequoia, kind of divided in half. They were issued at different times. The northern half of Sequoia County from Salisaw north into Brushy, very heavy rain continuing to fall, and we've had some gusty winds and some pockets of hail. The wind has been the primary threat, though, this afternoon. We've got multiple power outages in Flora County. We've got crews responding in Podo right now. Last check, I think Darren and Joe were talking about power outages over 4,000, and those numbers may continue to climb. Power crews will be responding as quickly as they can, but notice in Podo, we're still getting a lot of heavy rain. But the rain's even heavier once you head north of Panama, north of Spiro and Callington into Sequoia County. Got a lot of heavy rain right over the Sequoia National Wildlife Refuge. Fort Smith, Van Buren, we're doing a lot better. The rain is still falling right now in Fort Smith. Van Buren, we're starting to dry out. But overall, these storms are collapsing on their east side and moving back off towards the west. You can see how crisp they are on their western side. They're probably going to continue to expand there towards McCurtain and Stigler. But south into Podo, still some heavy rain going on right now. It's very hard for crews to respond to everything when it's still, downpouring out there. This is a closer look from Roland west to Salisaw and eventually towards Vian. Anywhere along 59 for the whole county, we have a severe thunderstorm warning, mainly with the gusty winds and those hail pockets. But right now in Fort Smith, heavy rain continues to still fall, but you can see it's slowly weakening over time. A little bit heavier once you cross into Arcoma and Moffett. Mainly right now, it's just rain for us. And even in Flora County, most of it's just simply rain. We've got some hail, though, to talk about. Most of it's all reporting in Sequoia County. From Salisaw, we've got a little bit of pea-sized hail reporting. We've had some on and off hail in around the city. Different neighborhoods kind of getting different things. But now on the west side of town, the exit west, we're getting a good pocket of hail up to quarter size. And we're also getting some hail in the northern half of the county. This one's starting to collapse too. This was near Brushy, but that hail pocket is slowly weakening. We've had some hail just north and west of Roland and Moffett and Muldrow. This one's starting to collapse too. But in Fort Smith, Van Buren, and the rest of the river valley, we're looking a lot better when it comes to hail. Okay, this is a closer view. You see right over Brushy, Salisaw, we've had a little bit of hail. It looks like we're getting the uptick there just south of Pinhook Corner. This is between Salisaw and Vian, some of it impacting the interstate. Now you're going to look at this and see what is going on. I tell you what, this is a mess. We've got several different outflow boundaries and storms collapsing and storms strengthening, and they're all throwing winds in different directions. It is kind of like a toddler splashing around in a bathtub right now, I'll be honest, but we can take a look at somewhere the gustiest winds are right now. We're noticing, I think this is actually starting to turn into a little bit of a wake low where we've had that heavy rain. And now the wind's starting to funnel right back into Fort Smith. We've got some very strong wind right now in western Sebastian County, eastern Flora County, right over Bacola, and then west of Greenwood, right there in Riley Farm, south side of Fort Smith. Even though the storm is collapsing, that wind is picking up, but it's coming from southwest to northeast. It's coming right at us into Sebastian County with that wind. And sometimes those winds can be almost as powerful as a thunderstorm themselves. But watch out for the gusty winds that are picking up in Sebastian County. I'm going to go back to that. In fact, I'm going to zoom in here in just a second. I'll step off for just a moment. I know it looks like a mess, but that green is showing you pretty strong winds that are coming now right into the heart of Sebastian County. So Rock Island and Hackett, Excelsior and Midland, we're getting that gusty wind threat now. It's probably about 40, 50 mile per hour winds. In fact, let me get a quick estimate on some of these. All right, so when you're look at that velocity, I know there's a negative sign, it's just the direction. But essentially we've got up to about 30 to 40 mile per hour winds with some of these gusts that are reporting right now. There's a 31, there's a 37. So look out for that. Those winds are essentially moving. Let Let me zoom out just a touch. These winds are moving southwest to northeast. So they're coming right back at us towards Fort Smith. We're getting some of that wind also in northern Sebastian County. You see that red, once it gets on the other side of the radar beam, it switches to a different color. So we're still getting some good winds right now in Barling and Lavaca and Bloomer, Kibler. Even though some of us, we really haven't gotten any rain, but now these storms have collapsed and they're sending their winds off towards the east. So it's breezy. It's just going to be a mess in the river valley for a while. And then you can see just overall, we're watching this wind expand across all of western Arkansas and eastern Oklahoma. You see this kind of this ring of fire, this red beam all the way from Stigler into Greasy, and then even to the Bobby Opper Tunnel coming into Clarksville now too. Got this huge gust of wind. Essentially, you just had so much action in one spot. It's kind of like a boat in the lake, and eventually the wind's going to get to you after whatever they did. Well, you know, they could be tubing or something, but all the wind goes, all those waves go out and just all different directions. So wind continues to just gust out of these storms as heavy rain falls for us in Sequoia County, LaFleur County, and even Haskell County. These storms will continue to slowly move west. You're seeing more pop-ups there on the western slopes of Kavanaugh Hill, getting close to Bekoshi, Callington, and headed west into Haskell, where we're going to be watching these storms continue to fire up towards the west. Scott County, we still have some light rain reporting. Things are a lot calmer now, thank goodness, but we've had some hail throughout Scott County. We have this flash flood warning that's still in effect because we picked up a lot of water. In fact, I'm going to show you some of those rainfall totals. This is just taking a look at the estimated rainfall. Coming up later tonight, we'll be able to take a closer look at different people's rain gauges, things like that. Let us know how much rain you got, but this is just an estimation. And whenever you see this yellow color changing to the orange, anywhere about 3, maybe even up to 4 inches of rain. And you can see where we got that, right along the state line, north of Poda Mountain, and then mainly south of Fort Smith. Now in Fort Smith, some of us picked up a ½ inch of rain, about 1 inch of rain, 2 inches or so in Bacola, and then in Cameron we picked up a lot. Poda we picked up 1 inch or 2, depending on what side of town you live on. North side of town, we really had a lot of damage reports. That's where we had that power pole completely down there by the Walmart and the Burger King on the north side by the Scenic Byway, or the bypass there, and then more rain extends north along 59 as you go towards the Panama and Shady Point area, northern LaFleur County, even into Salisaw we picked up about 1 inch or so. Southern LaFleur County, we picked up a lot of rain. Huebner south into Hodgen and Howe and Monroe, even Big Cedar, we picked up some rain. It's very different once you head towards southwestern LaFleur County, Tallahena and Fanshawe. We really haven't got much today. The storms have been around us. Sometimes we got a shower, but most of the heavy rain's been kind of along 59 and back east. Worcester on the eastern shores there by the campgrounds. As you come into the lake, we got some rain. And then in Scott County, very heavy rain, basically western half. So from 71 back west, we picked up a lot. Blancett, Waldron picking up anywhere between a ½ inch or so. This is very, just an estimation as we look at the radar beam, but let us know how much you guys got. Rain chances will continue to really focus in on southeast Oklahoma as these storms kind of build back towards the west. Got to throw up a general chance for a shower though this evening, as we've just got some clouds and sometimes they get a little bit thicker. They can throw out a shower or two. That's going to be the case. But eventually we're going to get rid of these storms. There could be a stray shower overnight in the river valley. Tomorrow afternoon, we're going to heat back up, and there could be a pop-up or two, but they probably won't be as intense as the ones that we've had so far today. But with this extra rainfall, I tell you what, that humidity, it's going to spike. We're lucky that, well, we still got 2 hours, 2.5 hours till sunset. So if we can clear out the clouds, which that's going to be very hard to do, but if you do clear out your clouds a little bit and you got rain, it's going to get super humid. You may just have to wait till tomorrow morning when the sun comes out, but it's going to be humid in a big way. In fact, I'm thinking for some of us, we're going to have to increase the heat index, but not everyone got rain today. Northwest Arkansas, we've had a couple sprinkles, but no thunderstorms. Has been pretty quiet. We've got some extra clouds. We're thankful for some of those clouds. Some of those clouds came in from the river valley. The river valley was sharing some clouds with us. But we'll still probably get close to 100 degrees tomorrow and for the next several days. But there is some relief on the way. More rain chances coming up next week. Finally, got more rain chances as a cold front's likely to approach. Coming up on your 5 News at 10, we're going to talk more about that incoming cold front. And same story in the river valley. We'll finally maybe get out of these 90s. Today, we still hit some of those hundreds, but then boy, did we cool off. I want to show you some of the temperatures that we have. Man, we're in the 70s for a lot of us, for along and south of I-40, but of course, boy, did we get a lot of wind. And that's the problem. This is going to be the biggest impact, I think, is those winds and those power outages because of those winds. You know, they're not going to all probably be fixed tonight. So tomorrow is going to get very hot and very humid. This is going to be a Paris situation. Paris, you know this. We felt it. We've impacted all pretty much week long for some of us. Some of us still, you know, are battling some of that, but a lot of us have gained power back. But in eastern Oklahoma, I tell you what, especially in Poteau, it's going to be tough for us for a while, I think, as we've got over 4,000 power outages as of last check about 20 minutes ago coming in from Darren and Joe. They're monitoring a lot of those data points for us. But this is a look at radar. You're taking a look at this cluster of rain that just continues to sit over Sequoyah County and LaFleur County. Breaking news, all severe thunderstorm warnings have now been canceled. What we're mainly looking at right now is just a lot of heavy rain reporting throughout LaFleur and Sequoyah. We still have a hail pocket, though, up to maybe quarter-sized hail. Could there be another warning put on this? Sure, but it's crossing I-40 and 64. They're on the western side of Salisaw, just past the casino there off the interstate. But that could be some large hail coming down for us in Sequoyah County. The size of it is actually pretty small. When you zoom out, it's a tiny little pocket, but we still have to watch it there, headed south towards the reservoir. You see the blue, that's the Kerr Reservoir there as you head south towards the dam there as you cross 59. Eventually the hail could get close to us. But the wind has also been a big deal. Let's see where the current winds are right now. It looks like we still have some of those straight line winds just after the rain. Sometimes you get the wind to pick up. It's called a wake low. But not to get lost in the weeds in the weather. Essentially, you've got a southwest to northeast wind that's coming in from LaFleur and into Sebastian. And then on the other side of the radar, you see that little circle there, that's the radar. On the other side of the circle, you're still getting the winds. It's red because it's just on the other side of the radar. We can do a radar lesson some other day, but essentially you're still getting that red color, and that's showing you the wind that we're getting on the other side. So there towards Harrelton and Central City, Barling, Fort Chaffee, north into Crawford County there in Ketcher, Shibley and Kibler and Yolestown and Dyer, Alma. We haven't got as much rain there in eastern Crawford County towards Mulberry, but the wind's kind of picking up for some of us, and that's from those thunderstorms that are collapsing off in the distance. This is one more look at the radar. We'll take a look at the rainfall once again, and then we're going to hop off our digital platforms. We're going to get ready for your 5 News at 6. We're going to have several updates from power outages. Our very own Ian Taylor, reporter Ian Taylor, he is going to be in Poteau. He was just driving around Broadway and seeing multiple poles down as he was just cruising there. Heavy rain still falling for some of us in Poteau, especially on the north side of town. South side of town, we still have some showers, but they're not nearly as heavy as they were earlier. But the heavy rain is just sitting over Sequoyah County right now, just not budging. Don't be surprised if you get some localized flash flooding. The ground is dry. It's hard for this water to penetrate in it. It just kind of hits it like a rock and then just kind of goes out wherever it can find a place to settle. So be on lookout for that. A lot of roadways, there's been some standing water in Poteau and Panama and Shady Point, Spiro, Picola. We've seen that water just sitting there, and it just continues to come down. Rainfall rates between 1 to 2 inches per hour. Strong thunderstorms continue. We appreciate your time with us. We're going to be live here in just a few minutes on Channel 5. You can tune in for there, and we'll give you the latest on where these storms are evolving and heading and who they are impacting the most. Keep it here, keep it local. As always, we'll keep you advised.